Listen, we've all been there. You're on the old Custom Offsets website browsing lift kits for your truck. You enter your year, make, and model and dive headfirst into all of the wonderful lift kit options that we have available. When suddenly you find it, the body lift. It's $250, it gives you 3 inches of lift, and it seems like a no-brainer, right? But is it too good to be true? I'm Dustin with Custom Offsets, and today we're gonna be stacking them up and finding out just why we hate body lifts. Before we do that though, if you're looking for a lift kit, wheels or tires, or even some awesome accessories like bumpers, lighting, things like that, you can find all of those at customoffsets.com. Seriously, we got all that stuff. Also, while you're at it, please consider subscribing to our channel as it helps us keep bringing you guys the content that you've come to love. All right, let's dive right into this. Before we get started, we should clarify 2 things. 1, we don't actually hate body lifts, it's more of a strong dislike. In certain applications, they can be super beneficial for gaining that last little bit of clearance. However, we're not exactly a huge fan of them, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. And number 2, what exactly is a body lift? If you're not familiar with them, a body lift is exactly what the name suggests. It's a lift kit which utilizes spacers or bushings to lift the body of the truck up off the frame. This is opposite of a suspension lift, of course, which is going to adjust or replace the factory suspension components to actually lift the vehicle. So with all of that being said, why do we dislike body lifts so much? And well, honestly, there's a few reasons actually. The biggest factor for us is that body lifts stretch factory components of your truck past what they were designed for. We're talking components like wiring harnesses and your steering column, which were designed at a proper length from the factory for the body height of the truck. This is increasingly more important the newer the truck is, as today's trucks come with more sensors and more harnesses than ever before. Additionally, 2 or 3 inches of clearance gained by adding a body lift means that every harness between the body and the frame needs to have enough slack to make up that difference. This can oftentimes be problematic as it causes wire harnesses and connectors to pull apart or stretch out, as well as the steering joints to be put at awkward angles that could cause a bind. However, not a huge deal if you have an older truck, as generally you're gonna have less wiring than something newer. Another thing to mention with body lifts is that because you're putting a spacer between the frame of the truck and the body of the truck, you're gonna be able to see that. Body lifts do create this kind of weird visible gap in the vehicle, especially when you're looking at the box. Additionally, if you have factory cutouts for your exhaust tips, there's a good chance that the body lift will raise the bumpers up, but your exhaust tips are gonna stay at the same location, meaning you're gonna have this weird gap between the exhaust tips and the cutouts. On the flip side, let's say your body lift does not move the bumpers. Now you have this weird gap between the body of the truck and the bumpers. In either situation, not super ideal. Trust me, I know what you're saying.
But it's under $300. I can get a body lift. That cost alone is much cheaper than a suspension lift kit.
Listen, here's the thing. Body lifts are actually significantly more expensive to install than a suspension lift kit. While it may not seem that way, let me break it down for you real quick. Remember, a body lift is basically a spacer that sits between the frame and the body of the vehicle. The only way to get that spacer into that space, no pun intended, is to lift the entire body of the vehicle off the frame and install the spacer. On newer trucks, it's not so bad, but around here in the Rust Belt, you're bound to break something on any truck that's literally over 5 years old. Sure, you could do it yourself, probably save a few bucks, but you're gonna need means to get the body separated from the frame of the truck. Now, before someone says it, I know we have them on the website, and if your heart is dead set on a body lift, we'll certainly sell it to you. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not your dad.
You're not my dad!
You can do whatever you want. Do you have a clean, pre-OBD truck that you're looking to pick up an inch or 2 of clearance? A body lift might be an alright option for you. In most cases, however, you're gonna see us recommend going with a suspension lift kit.
So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
The updated components and the new suspension geometry is almost always a better option for lifting your truck, and you can get about the same lift kit for about the same price. Either way, you can check out all of our lift options for your truck at customoffsets.com. Peace.